I'm Mike from Terrestrial Imaging, and today we're going to talk about the H520, and specifically the H520 batteries, the Typhoon H480 batteries, and the differences between them and the similarities. I know there are some questions about the compatibility of both the batteries, and today we're going to answer those questions. So let's get started. Okay, so on the table you see that I have the H520, the Typhoon H480, some batteries for both these drones. Another battery in here that we'll get to later, and this is a safe charging bag, a battery voltage reader, charging cable, and a modified charging base. So before we get into all these different things that we have on the table, the three things I want you to take away from this video are the dimensions of the batteries and the compatibility, the specifications of the battery, and the differences in charging. So if you have a look at the batteries, they look like the same size, and that's because they are. So really, the only difference physically is the color, and if you look at the connectors, the pins are slightly different. But the power pins, which are the two ones on the end, if you look on both batteries, are the same. So that means you could take Typhoon H480 battery, put it in the H520, do that there, show you. And you could take the H520 battery and put it in the Typhoon H480. So, if I power them on, you'll see that it works. The second thing I want you to know are the specifications of the battery. So, let's read what's on the back of the batteries and see what they say. So, the Typhoon H480 battery is 5,400 milliamp hours, and it's a 4-cell battery. The H520 battery is a 5,250 milliamp hour battery and also 4-cell. Interesting, this is a little less. So now if we look at the other Venom battery that we have that is designed for the Typhoon H480 but actually works in the H520 also, this is a higher milliamp hour battery at 6,700 and also 4-cell. So now this also says that it's a 4-cell 14.8 volt battery. This says the same thing, 4-cell 14.8. Now the difference is this says 4-cell 15.2 volts. So we all know that these batteries, the 4 cells, they're 3.7 volts each, so multiply it by 3 and you get 14.8, but this says 15.2. So I noticed when I take my battery voltage reader and I plug it into this battery, I get up to 17.2 on a full charge. These are fully charged. Now this isn't fully charged, but let's see what I get. I get 15.4, but I know this can go up to 16.4, and then this goes above 16 also. So these two, according to milliamp hours, pack more power, but this, the voltage is different. So that's the difference in the batteries. We haven't got a chance to fully test the H520 batteries and compare it to the H480. That'll probably come later in a comparison between these two drones video, but those are the specifications of the batteries. That's what they say, and that's what we've noticed. The third thing I want you to know is while the batteries are interchangeable, the charging bases are not. So as I showed you before on the batteries, the pins are slightly different, and the charging bases, the pins inside those correspond to the different batteries. So it's in there a little tight. So you look at the bases, those pins are different and they correspond to these. Funny though, because these bases almost look identical and the part numbers are pretty similar. This one is SC4004H and this one's SC4004. So part numbers are different, but they're very, very similar. Hard to tell actually without really looking in there. So if you have the Typhoon H480 or H520, you can change the batteries, but you can't charge them with the different bases. So to recap it all, 1, the batteries are physically the same size and the power pins are the same, so you could use these two batteries in the two different drones, and we even have the Venom battery that could be used in either two drones. So that's really cool. The only difference physically is the colors. 2, the specifications are very similar. The only difference is really the milliamp hours. So you shouldn't see too much of a difference in the battery qualities. And then third, the charging bases are not the same. So you cannot charge this battery in this base and this battery in that base. So you need to be aware of that when purchasing your batteries and choosing which ones you want for your H520 or Typhoon H480. So lastly, I want to share the different charging options we have available for you guys. So we have the high-tech charger over here and the Venom charger over here. Now, the Typhoon H480 has been out for a long time, so you can charge these batteries other ways than the traditional Yuneec charging base, and that's with, we got this Venom cable over here, and they have leads specific to this battery that you could charge directly into one of these smarter, faster chargers for faster charging. This base and this base typically charge a battery right under 2 hours, and now with this cable and charging it right into that, it charges in about 45 minutes. So currently, since the H520 is such a new drone, it really has just been released, so there are no cables custom made for it yet. But one thing we do at Terrestrial Imaging that we did for the Typhoon H480 is modify the Yuneec Typhoon charging base. So we'll do that with the H520 as well. And what we could do is, before we ship you your H520, we can modify this base so that way, using an EC3 connector, you could plug it directly into your Venom or high-tech charger. This will allow you to charge your H520 batteries much faster, and you could balance charge them, and you could do all sorts of things with these two chargers. So these are available, and I just wanted to let you guys know that. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Make sure to visit on Facebook and like our page. And then if you're in the market for an H520 or anything you see on the table for that matter, feel free to visit us on the web at www.terrestrialimaging.com.